Hey guys, Justin here, and thanks once again to Steve for sponsoring this video in support of St. Jude Children's Hospital. As always, the proceeds of this video will all go to St. Jude's at the end of the year, and hopefully we'll tally up quite a big number with all of them that Steve sponsors. And also, I want to announce that I'm opening my lessons again, so use this QR code or click the link in the description for more info on that. Alright, let's get to the video. Except, I think they were good this week.
Doesn't he just do a long run?
It seems like it. The Zelensky times are always alien, except maybe once in a blue moon.
It was really cool last night. Atchison popped in and ran an ARCA race because he was pissed about getting wrecked in 87s, and got to pick his brain a bit about like old school, like early folk and stuff like that.
Okay, here we go. I'm in the 9s, I'm in the 1s. There we go. That's the lap I wanted. I don't know what made that particularly fast. But that's a .11. Okay, that's my lap. Alright, let's take a look at that. So I did figure out why that was faster. And it really just has to do with the concept of less is more. I really was trying to push a lot sometimes, and at the end of the day, with these Gen 4 cars, it handles like an ARCA car. So what the idea of the ARCA car is that you don't want to be overdriving entry because that'll cause a tight center condition. So with that in mind, let's go to the lap. This will be first lap. Here's the out lap here. And really, I'm just trying to think about making as straight of an exit as possible. Sound like a broken record saying that sometimes on out lap, but I stay up at the top, and then eventually I'll cut down back to the bottom when I'm able to slow the car and get it rotated, hopefully with about half the turn left. So I go partial, and then finally, as corner exit begins to happen, I start turning it down a little bit, and then getting my wheels straight, full throttle as soon as possible. It's a little loose, so you see, in the perfect world, when I get to this point, I want this to be kind of closer to here. If this is center, I want it to be kind of closer to here. So because I have the wheel a little bit turned too far here, I will get loose off the corner, but I was able to somehow save it, so that's always nice. Carrying a good amount of speed to the line even with that loose moment, and we will go into turn 1. And first off, I'll talk you guys through it as it's going live. So I let off, do a pretty early brake drag, and let off, arc it to the bottom, and then just hold it at the white line with partial throttle. With the perfect amount of partial throttle, you will neither go towards the line or away from the line, and then I hold that amount, and then gradually increase it until I'm full throttle at the very exit. So notice, first thing, I am not full throttle until I pretty much am already on the straightaway. Like, there is only this much of the corner left, and that's the moment I go full throttle. It's very, very tempting to want to go full throttle here, or full throttle here, or full throttle even here. But what's wrong with that? You're going to be holding too much wheel while being full throttle. And that is number one thing you want to avoid. You do not want to be in these cars driving with steering in the car while being full throttle, because that's where those high revs really bite you and cause you to get ungodly loose. So you see how I correlated my full throttle with attempting to move the wheel back to center. So see left, so it's one motion, back to center, throttle up, back to center, throttle up. And then I get loose, but the core motion out of all of that is I throttle up as my wheel moves back to center. Okay? So that's how I was able to get 1 and 2 done, and that is a very difficult execution because you have to find that exact throttle to just carry that perfect amount of momentum. So I'm usually losing a few hundredths in my other attempts to this just because I really got the perfect amount of throttle here this whole time. In my opinion, I have a feeling some of the aliens are going to be a tenth or even more up on me, but we'll see. We'll see. So going into 3 and 4 here, same idea. So I actually missed getting down a little bit earlier than I should, or a little too late here. I probably want to be down at the white line by like right here, even though I'm already kind of missed it. So this is all about wrapping the corner and again getting back on that partial throttle. So we'll do it one time without pausing. So smooth off the throttle, brake drag it to the line, add all the wheel you need to, partial throttle it along the line, partial throttle, wait. When's my wheel coming back to center? Now. And that's when I correlate my throttle to it. Same idea. Corner's going to feel a little bit different, but the goals are exactly the same. We want to get to the bottom without getting the car too tight, without overslowing the car. We pick up the throttle and we hold that partial so that it sticks to the line. Not too much, not too little. And when I say it sticks to the line, that implies that I'm not moving the steering wheel. In qualifying, we can cheat a little and move the steering wheel if we need to, but that's going to cause some tire wear. But we'll cheat a little bit in qualifying. So you notice for the most part, my wheel is completely still as I stick myself to the line. So that's the perfect amount of throttle. This moment right here, this is the perfect amount of throttle, the perfect steering wheel, for hot lap at least, and the perfect keeping yourself parallel to the white line. Those things are what quote unquote sticking to the white line is. If you are moving your steering wheel to try to find balance, that's not good. If you're modulating your throttle to try to find that balance, that's not good. You gotta find it and ride it for as long as you can. And then gradually lift it as you're moving the wheel back to center. And then once you go straight, you go full throttle. And then we carry that back to the start finish line and get a pretty darn good lap time. All right, hopefully that made sense, and let's go to the long run. All right, so I just did a long run here. I did 35 laps, and we ended surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, 56.44, so a lot of right rear wear. And where does that right rear wear come from? It comes from me just sliding my tires off of turn 4. So we'll look at that in a second. But let's take a look at the beginning of the run. So we'll start at lap 2 here. I'm going to turn down the volume not to blast your guys' ears out. So the beginning of the run, really all about not overdriving the entry. You start overdriving entries and you're just going to get tight center, and your right front tire is just going to wear a lot more than it already is. I mean, wearing 50 or 45% over 35 laps is already a ton for the right front. But if you go too late into this corner, you're going to have to use more steering wheel to keep the car on the bottom. So I really recommend letting out of the throttle really early on long run. So you see I'm easy out of the throttle. Not 100 to 0. Easy out of the throttle. Drag the brake. Keep it on the line. Pick up the throttle halfway through. Kind of hold that partial. And then go full throttle when you can get it off the corner. So you can go full throttle a little bit earlier in 1 and 2 than you can in 3 and 4. 3 and 4, turn 4 just wants to murder you in these cars. So really hold that partial throttle until you are like all the way off the corner. You see how much I'm struggling with loose? And that was just because I tried to do full throttle right here. Like in theory, if you're really trying to save right rear, which I would probably recommend you do, I wouldn't go full throttle maybe until like right here, right? So you have a lot more favorable angle there compared to here. Here it's a lot of sliding, and we can see a lot of random points throughout the run. This is like 10 laps in. I mean, it's going to be a little slower here, but it's all the same idea. I'm arcing it a little more into the corners now. Partial throttle, wait until you can get your wheel straight, and then full throttle off once you can get your wheel straight. And if you do it too early, you wear some right rear tire that you don't necessarily have to. But you could gain a little bit of time. So it's more of a short run mentality to get on the throttle as early as possible. Long run mentality, just, you see how loose it gets. It's just ridiculous. We might not be getting many long runs here to start out the week because people are just going to bin it. And this track is kind of narrow. But I'm really trying to wait as long as possible. So we'll skip ahead to like lap 20 now. So same idea. Oh, no, it's not the same idea. So around lap 20, I started experimenting with running the top. So this race, I think if it goes long, I think it transitions to the top. The top just consistently beats out the bottom, and I don't think the tire wear is that much different. So top line 1 and 2, and begrudgingly, I also say top of 3 and 4, even though it's a lot less comfortable. But top 1 and 2 is pretty comfortable. Let's actually, sorry, I'll take you back so we can go over the whole rhythm. So still out of the throttle early, brake, brake, keep the car off the wall, partial, partial, partial. Hold the partial longer than you think you need to, and then full throttle when you're straight. Because if you partial too early, that wall is just going to bite you. Or sorry, if you get off a partial too early. And then I still tried bottom of 3 and 4 here. I think around lap 20, the bottom of 3 and 4 is still better, but once we start getting to like lap 25, lap 30, so you see where where my rear tire wear is coming from. Just forcing throttle a little too early. Needs to be a little smoother here. Nothing crazy. You see, the moment I get loose is the moment I try to go full throttle. So be a little smoother than I am, and you will be saving right rear. But then this is also about the time where you start getting loose on the tri-oval, so you might need to get out of the throttle a little bit there too. I tried running the middle, or kind of like late apexing the bottom. It's alright. I think it loses about a tenth or so. And then between like laps 20 to 30, you fall off like a full second. So after that fall off is when basically both corners are up high. So you'll see here, just go right by the wall just about. Partial, 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 you just hold it for the entire corner. It seems like it goes on forever. And then full throttle when you're almost straight off the corner. And then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go high here for 3 and 4 as well. Oh, nope, I lied. So I was mixing up bottom of 1 and 2 with top 1 and 2. It's hard to say. I think that the longer you go, the better the top becomes, but that also assumes that you do it correctly. So I want to find a lap where I finally go to the top 3 and 4. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. No. See, I really was just going back and forth. Okay, here we go. So top of 3 and 4. You let off really early. You just kind of coast. Partial. Keep it off the wall. It's the same idea as 1 and 2. It's just going to feel a lot tighter because the exit is a lot sharper of an exit. It's not as gradual as the turn off of turn 2. So you really need to get your car pointed a little earlier in that case. So yeah, I was plateauing here around the 32.4s. I think if I saved a little more tire, I could be a tenth or two better. And I think if I was a little bit better driver up here, like these lines aren't crazy. I'm not right by the wall, but I don't think anyone's going to be right by the wall. But you never know with some of those aliens. So anyways, that's a look through the long run, at least lap 35. I think it's going to be more of the same until fuel. It's just going to get looser and looser and looser. So careful of that gradual throttle. Careful of going full throttle before your steering wheel is straight. And be careful of overdriving entries, because overdriving entry will cause a tight center, which will exaggerate a loose off condition. All right. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.